Hello, English students. Welcome to your English class number 14. You are on the advanced level. Open your PowerPoints and go straight to slide number 2, where you're gonna find some idioms. Okay? So we have 3 idioms here. We have the idioms, the meaning, and the translation. First one is a blessing in disguise, which means uma bênção disfarçada. A good thing that seems to be bad at first. Example: the loss of my job was a blessing in disguise, because made me focus on what I really wanted. A dime a dozen, 10 centavos a dúzia, which means something common. Example: fitness bloggers are a dime a dozen. And the third one is cut somebody some slack. That means dar uma folga a alguém, not being so critical. Example: I got late at work hoping my boss would cut me some slack. Alright, so these were the idioms for today. And the subject today is global warming. So it's a very serious, it's a very important issue. We're gonna talk about it today, and you're gonna find lots of new words. It's a kind of hard text to understand, so it's a good challenge for you. All right, let's get started. All right, so global warming. The rising average temperature of Earth's climate system, called global warming, is driving changes in rainfall patterns, extreme weather, arrival of seasons, and more. Collectively, global warming and its effects are known as climate change. While there have been prehistoric periods of global warming, observed changes since the mid-20th century have been unprecedented in rate and scale. Human influence on climate has been the dominant cause of observed warming since the mid-20th century. These findings have been recognized by the national science academies of major nations and are not disputed by any scientific body or national or international standing. The largest human influence have been the emission of greenhouse gases, with the over of 90% of the impact from carbon dioxide and methane. Fossil fuel burning is the principal source of these gases, with agricultural emissions and deforestation also playing significant roles. Temperature rise is enhanced by climate feedbacks, such as loss of snow cover, increasing water vapor, and melting permafrost. All right, let's continue. I told you this text is hard. Let's go. So slide number 4. Land surfaces are heating faster than ocean surface, leading to heat waves, wildfires, and the expansion of deserts. Increasing atmospheric energy and rates of evaporation are causing more intense storms and weather extremes, damaging infrastructure and agriculture. Surface temperature increases are greatest in the Arctic and have contributed to the retreat of glaciers, permafrost, and sea ice. Environmental impacts include the extinction or relocation of many species as their ecosystems change, most immediately in coral reefs, mountains, and the Arctic. Surface temperature would stabilize and decline a little if emissions were cut off, but other impacts will continue for centuries, including rising sea levels from melting ice sheets and rising ocean temperatures. All these events have a direct impact in our lives. Not only the global warming caused the heat waves, winter with high temperatures, and summers with even higher temperatures, but it also causes the extreme low temperatures. That's because the glaciers melt. They lower the ocean temperature, leading to cold weathers. So this is very interesting, right? I didn't know that the global warming was responsible for the climate change to extreme low weathers. Like it didn't make sense to me. So now it does. All right, so let's go to slide number 5. That's right. Global warming is responsible for the drop of temperature as well. Those crazy cold days you have never experienced before are a result of the damage that the human being does to the planet Earth. All right. So what are the consequences? For starters, with the pollution, the clouds that protect the Earth because they reflect solar radiation back into space are getting degraded. Many species are going to disappear. Some of them are already gone. Others, like sea turtles, are about to do the increase of the ocean temperature. Are about to do the increase of the ocean temperature. The fishes in general will probably have the same fate. With the rise of the sea level, in a few decades, a large number of coast cities are going to vanish. The ocean is going to take over those cities, and those lands are going to turn into sea. A good part of the floods we observe today are consequences of the rise of the ocean level. Odds are that the extreme temperatures are going to get more extreme day after day. Continuing, slide number 6. This is a long text. All right, so what can we do? So we have some hints here for what you can do to help the planet to have less of these consequences for the weather, for the climate change, and all those things. So there are simple things that we can do, and here are some hints. Let's take a look at them. So produce less garbage. Avoid buying products with too many packages and recycle whenever is possible. The decomposition of waste releases CO2 and methane, gases that contribute to the greenhouse effect. Number 2, use public transportation. I know this one is hard, but whenever is possible. Burning of fossil fuels transportation means is the main source of greenhouse gases emissions in cities. Thus, using public transportation contributes to lessen the emissions of these pollutants, in addition to reducing of traffic jams. So that works in a place where they have a good transportation system, which is not our case. I understand if you prefer driving your own car. All right, so next one is consume local produce. So I never thought about it. Take a look. Locally produced products do not need to be transported over long distance, and therefore they don't release the greenhouse gas emissions that trucks generate when driving hundreds and hundreds of kilometers carrying goods. Never thought about that. Never thought that, oh, if I buy something from here, so the trucks don't have to drive that far, and they would send less gases to the atmosphere because they would not burn so much fuel. So this is very interesting. This is something that we all can do. And here, continuing, we have use less air conditioning. Air conditioners release HFC type gases, more potent than CO2. At the same time that they cool the interior of environments, they contribute to increase the temperature outside. So the same time it makes like the place where you are, like the indoors, cooler. Outside it's sending all that heat for the atmosphere. So I know we have like a very hot summer here in Brazil, so it's hard for us not using the air conditioning. So just try to use a little less. The little you can do, it helps. All right, so continuing, the other hint we have here is eat less meat. This is very good. Let's see. This is good for your health as well. In order to make room for the cattle, farmers cause wildfires so they can expand their business, having more and more cattle for the slaughter. Besides the destruction of forests, the production of this kind of food generates greenhouse gases in livestock farming and uses unsustainable amounts of water. According to scientists, reducing 90% of the meat consumption in Western countries is necessary to contain global warming and prevent the planet from collapsing. Can you believe it? Like, we have to reduce 90% of the meat that we consume today to prevent the planet from collapsing. So this is very serious. The situation is really, really serious. So continuing here, the global warming is not a distant threat. It is happening right now. The past 3 years have been the hottest of any other time in history that we know. Feeling guilty? What about starting new habits? Do your part to make the planet a better place to live for the next generations. All right. Okay, so that was the end of this huge text. Slide number 8, you're gonna find the text vocabulary. All right. So these are the words in red that you found at the text. Slide number 9 and 10, oh my gosh, is huge. It's the video vocabulary. So on the video, you're gonna see Al Gore talking about the climate change. So it's very interesting. If you have the chance, watch the movie called An Inconvenient Truth. Is a lecture that he does for talking about the climate change. It's very interesting. So take a look if you have a chance. And hope you guys like this subject, and I'll see you in class. Bye bye.